Welcome back to DIYWILLY. This is a good day today. We got some parts in the mail for Briggs and Briggs. Now originally I was gonna wait until I rebuilt Briggs to put this on, but I can't wait. I want to see it. It's a pretty cool part. It came from EC Carburetors, and I talked about it in a previous video. So let's check it out. There we go. I'm excited to open it. I did previously open it. Obviously this is not the first time I opened it, but there's the invoice. Thank you, EC Carburetors. Here's the carburetor adapter. There's our part number. Looks pretty nice. They had different colors. I went with this color because it should match any color I choose on the engine. And what else is in the box? Ooh, a couple of nice EC Carburetor stickers. That might go nice on the gas tank. That fits perfect there, actually. Look at that. That fits perfect on the gas tank. Very nice. Anyway, there's two of those. And there's a bunch of hardware that fell out of the bag. They only gave me one gasket. So they got a gasket to go against the block, and the carburetor has an O-ring that will seal against this face here on this side. And it's got the pulse fitting. Ooh, I don't have a pulse. I'll probably have to put a hose over this with a screw in it or something. That'll be a problem, because I don't run a pulse fitting for a pump or anything like that on this engine. So it would be nice to have a plug for that. We'll try to come up with something that'll work. I might have maybe a bolt. This is probably a pipe thread. You know, maybe not. I don't know. Let's see if we can come up with something that'll plug that. But I want to see it on Briggs. So I got a couple wrenches here. And get this out of the way. I got a couple wrenches. And we're going to take the Tecumseh manifold off, put this manifold on, find a way to block that that pulse fitting. Start it up, right? Okay, let's do this. So the carburetor is kind of a mix. The Briggs has 7/16 bolts, and the carburetor's got 10mm. So we'll just give it a little like that. We'll get this off. Now I need to do the other side a little bit as well. So let me go do that. This is going to be so cool. I'm excited to have this manifold. Even though I liked how this Tecumseh manifold worked, it got my my PZ, what was it, 19 or PZ20? Hey, there was a camera. I got my PZ20 bolted up, but yeah, it will be much better with that manifold. There we go. I'll just kind of set this out of the way. Now Briggs is a 7/16. So I'm going to get that done. We'll see if we can get any footage out of it. Here's some long-winded bolts, man. There you go. Those are pretty long bolts. The exhaust is in the way. Where do I... There we go. Now I probably could have benefited from trying to port that out a little bit, you know, smooth it out. But turbulence is good for the fuel vapors, for the atomization of the fuel. I might try to use the same gasket. Maybe it'll work. Now it didn't come with any instructions, but I mean, pretty self-explanatory. Now I put the studs in like that, then I'll use the other hardware, this one with the Allen wrench, to go into the block like that. And I'm going to try to use the same gasket. Get the other one. I mean, it should work. Right? Should work. Let me get that Allen head. Alright, let's finish this up. I want to get to riding. That was a 3/16 Allen wrench, by the way. And we'll just tighten these in. That gas hose gets in the way. The carburetor. Let's see what's going on. So I got it figured out. It did need the Allen heads bolts to go in there because of the machine work and the clearances on the intake. I did end up using the thick gasket instead of the thin gasket to take up some of the thread length. Hopefully it seals good. It's the original gasket that I put on there. And now I've got the studs in there, and we're just going to put the carburetor back on. Well, I guess this was a bust. Looks nice, but doesn't run for crap. It's just high idle. It's just a runaway right now. As you can see on the ground, it was burning rubber. Briggs and Briggs was not happy. It does look nice, and I like the position of the carburetor in relation to the exhaust. And I did modify the choke arm to clear the exhaust because it was right in there. But I don't know what happened to cause it to be a runaway. I'm suspecting maybe a gasket leak up here. I've got this in there. I know that's not the best thing to have, but I mean, it should seal. I don't know. It was just for testing purposes only. But yeah, it doesn't run, and when it does, it just runs away. And you can see on the ground, it was burning rubber. So, I guess I'll have to revisit this another day. At least put it back the way it was, so that Briggs will run again, because I would like to do a top speed run. And I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Figure out why it didn't work. So I mean, it looks tight there, and that's an O-ring seal. It looks tight there. I did have to drill out the carburetor because the carburetor's threaded and the fitting was threaded, and I could not, figure out how to get the two together. So I just drilled out the carburetor, the threads, and I was able just to put them over the studs. Then I used the supplied bolts with the Allen head to put the adapter to the engine. So, I mean, it worked. It's all there. It's pretty sturdy. It just doesn't run crap. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's kind of late now, and this didn't work out. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off, put it back the way it was, and then I'll revisit this when I do the rebuild on Max, or excuse me, when I do the rebuild on Briggs. So yeah, I don't know, nothing more to say. This was a bust. It looks beautiful. I like it. Doesn't run for crap. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I could really help it right now. I'm kind of bummed, but we're gonna do the testing on it, and we'll figure it out what it is. Carburetor, I don't know. It should be the same as it was when it ran before. Well, it's another day. Continue to work on the EC carburetor, Briggs Mikuni style adapter, and Well, what I found was, I think the problem, I didn't show in the other part of the video, but the engine would just start and run away. I had no throttle control over it. It would just run and run and run. In fact, well, I did. You know what? I did mention it in the past video. It's been a couple of days. I do remember mentioning it in the other video. But anyway, you can see that bolt doesn't go all the way in, and I was using the thicker gasket, and it looked like it goes all the way in, but it doesn't. There's about a 1/16 of an inch there or so. So I was getting a massive air leak along the top right there. I hope that's the problem. I think I'm going to make a little spacer for this bolt so it doesn't bottom out so fast, and hopefully can apply some pressure to the intake. And I'll probably get a shorter bolt. I can buy those bolts. I'll probably get a shorter one. Also, I'm going to get a plug for this to get rid of this. It's just temporary for testing purposes only. So the bottom goes in well. As you know, it's open on the back side, but this one doesn't go all the way in. So I'm going to come up with a spacer, maybe a couple washers, a lock washer and whatnot. Up here, I'm going to still use a thick gasket, but I'm going to go ahead and get a new one. I was using the old one I was using with the Tecumseh manifold, and you can see the outline right there. It may not also have been sealing well. So we'll give it, I got another one. We'll use another gasket, fresh gasket, and hopefully get Briggs back on the road, man. So I took the carburetor out, and I cleaned it up. I've needed to adjust the floats on this because it would leak gas out the tube on the bottom. So hopefully when I put it all back together, I'll get the float adjustment right. I got it cleaned up, and yeah, we're gonna get it back together, get it back in Briggs, and with a fresh gasket, and see how it goes. I'm also gonna drain the fuel line while I have it off right now, disconnected. I see some dirt right there on this side of the filter. I don't know where that came from. It could have came from before when I was having some fuel problems. Might still be in the valve. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain this out and clean it up. The gas that was in the carburetor was pretty ugly looking, and it shouldn't have been. The gas that I put in the tank is new gas, so I don't know. I'll drain this out, get rid of this gunk that's building up inside, and we'll get the carburetor put back together and back on, and we'll give Briggs a little crank and see what happens. So I've got Briggs, I've got the carburetor back together, cleaned up real nice. I got it double checked all the adjustments. I've got the intake manifold there. I put what is it, 4 maybe 5 washers just to take up the difference in the bolt. I eventually will get a shorter bolt to fix that problem, and I'll get that plug like I was saying. But yeah, it's all in. While the filter was off, I double checked the throttle, and it opens and closes properly. So you know, that obviously wasn't the cause of the runaway. The runaway was the air leak right here. So I also drained out the fuel, get rid of the dirt that was right here in the line. And well, I'm ready to give it a pull and see if it'll run. I did already put some more fuel in it because, like I said, I did drain some of the fuel out, make sure the dirt was out. So yeah, let me get this thing started up. We'll get Briggs to Briggs, see if he'll run again, and I'll take Max and Briggs for a ride. All right. Okay, gas is on. Carburetor's empty. We had it completely apart. Go ahead and get some fuel down there. Alright, we'll turn the power on, and we'll give it a little choke. See what happens. Hey, there we go. I'm gonna run away. There's Briggs. That's my Briggs, I know. A little bit of loose smoke. We'll fix that in the rebuild. Very nice. That makes me happy. I was getting worried why it wouldn't start. What do you say we get ready and take Max and his buddy Biggs the Briggs for just a quick little ride? I don't have my watch on, but I've got to go clean up and end this video here. But let's take it for a ride. One pull big, never best. Well, that was just a quick test ride up and down the street real quick. Like I said, I've got to end the video here. I've got to, you know, get ready and go do my day job. But, Biggs the Briggs is running fantastic. That new intake manifold from EC Carburetors seems to be working perfectly. Carburetor's in a much better position. It's pretty close to the exhaust. I don't like that. I think I'm definitely going to build something different for the exhaust. But yeah, it's running way better, and actually it feels much more powerful. Like the throttle response is better. Man, it was way better. Now, since there is a considerable difference in power now that I can obviously feel, the chain is skipping, so it's going to be too loose. I have adjustment down there on the chain tensioner. Either that or the clutch. Something may be wrong with the clutch. So I'm going to investigate that on another day. But I call this a win. We fixed the problem. We got Biggs running again. I wish I'd have taken a shot of it when it was a runaway. It was pretty impressive. But I did show you the burn marks on the ground where it burned rubber and it just kept spinning the tires. So yeah. I'm happy with Biggs. Yeah, I don't know if he got mad at me for just changing the manifold or what, but you know, he's good now. He's running great, and actually, it feels much more responsive. Now, I think I owe that to the clutch arm, or excuse me. I think I owe that to the choke. The choke arm would hit the exhaust before it fully closed, so I gotta think that that may have been causing a difference in power. Not the compression. The compression is the same. We will revisit the compression test again though, however, because I got a couple comments in the video I posted saying that I should have had the throttle open, and they're absolutely correct. I should have. It would have got better airflow that way. An engine is just an air pump, so what goes in and what comes out is the measurement. So if it's limited going in, it's only going to show so much numbers. So I may be at 60. I don't know, but I'll revisit that before we take Biggs apart, and we'll also get it out for a high-speed run, see what we can get it to. But I want to take a look at that clutch first. I want to make sure the clutch is right before we go putting a big load on it. So thanks for stopping by and checking out my videos. Give it a thumbs up if you like Biggs the Briggs here and Max. They're great together. And subscribe if you haven't already. And well, I'll see you next time.